So most of you guys might have come across the newly introduced Rivian R2 SUV, which was quite anticipated, but also another Rivian R3, which wasn't really anticipated though. Not only that, Rivian also unveiled a game changer in the EV battery race, their custom designed 4695 battery cells. As tempting as it seems, there are still a number of questions that remain unanswered. In this video, we will be talking about the new battery setup on Rivian R2 and R3 and whether it's worth it or not. Also, we will address the questions surrounding the new cells. Most of you might have been aware of the new models that just came out yesterday, but the new battery cells actually left everyone surprised and a bit confused at the same time. I am going to provide some information that you may not have considered yet, like its 1000 volt architecture or its cylindrical battery cells called 4695. These cells are taller than Tesla's 4680 cells, and their massive size enables discharge at a very fast rate. That's why Rivian's new electric SUV will be able to go from 0 to 62 miles per hour in a staggering 3 seconds. By the way, folks, that's 0 to 100. The reason it's called 4695 is due to its diameter of 46 millimeters and height of 95 millimeters. Its specifications have yet to be detailed, but it is considerably larger than Tesla's 4680 cells, which could mean a lot. To be fair, Rivian is not the first to get into the 4695 game. BMW recently revealed samples of 4695 cell it plans to use in its new class of EVs from 2025 onwards. Indeed, several battery manufacturers are now producing cells in this 46 millimeter form factor, including Samsung SDI, Panasonic, and LG. Well, honestly, little can be said about the exact specs of these new 4695 cells, but we can do a bit of estimation about the pack's specs based on images Rivian showed us at the reveal. Zooming in on the pack, it appears to consist of three large modules separated by heavy internal frame rails. Each module is 34 cells wide by 8 deep for a total content of 272 cells. If we are talking lithium ion and we assume the cells are all wired in series, we get a module voltage of 979.2 voltage, which is obviously nominal. That's what shows a 1000 voltage architecture, not 800 voltage as speculation had otherwise indicated before. With three of these modules wired in parallel, the voltage will remain the same, but the current available will go up considerably. We don't know yet what the individual cell ratings are, but other 4695s are capable of pulse discharging at up to 10C or 10 times their rated capacity in amp hours. This actually meant that the available power is as high as a 900 kilowatt or around 850 horsepower. The Rivian's 4695s likely err on the side of capacity, though such high discharge rates are unlikely. One of the major questions that usually comes into mind is where will it come from? Will they make their own cells like Tesla's making the 4680? It also raises concern about the charging performance because a larger cell is harder to cool, and we have seen the 4680 Teslas deliver disappointing charging performance. Although as outsiders, we cannot be sure, obviously, but we will try to make our own analysis. Well, there is obviously no official word yet on who will manufacture the 4695 cells for Rivian, but there are two possibilities. They could either be partnering with an existing battery manufacturer and have them produce the custom cells based on Rivian's design, or they might be building their own battery factory similar to Tesla's approach with the 4680 cells. That's unlikely to happen. However, there is no official announcement about the existing manufacturer of 4695 cell for Rivian, but there is a possibility that Samsung SDI is the manufacturer of 4695 batteries per Rivian. The number one possibility, in my opinion, is that Samsung SDI expertise. They are a major player in the EV battery market and have been developing larger cylindrical batteries like the 46XX format, which includes the 4695 size. Similarly, the company has been working on cylindrical battery cells with a diameter of 46 mm, aiming to enhance energy density, charging and discharging time, cycle life, and reduced costs. This aligns with the potential supply for Rivian's R2 and R3 vehicles as Samsung SDI is expanding its battery business and preparing samples for customers including BMW and potentially other manufacturers like General Motors. The 46XX more of a format of the batteries that Samsung are trying to build. So the 46XX batteries are part of the Samsung SDI's effort to advance battery technology and cater to the growing demand for electric vehicles. This is why I personally believe Samsung might be the strong contender. Now, here's the technical point. As battery cells get bigger, their voltage does not change unless the chemistry changes, and Rivian is more likely than not using conventional lithium ion chemistry. What does increase is the cell's rating in amp hours, which translates into a 4695 holding more energy than 4680. But there's more, obviously. Larger cells like the 4695 can be trickier to cool compared to smaller ones like the 4680 Tesla cells. This could potentially impact charging speeds if thermal management isn't optimized. So, to address the challenge of thermal management with larger cells like the 4695, in the context of Rivian, the company has implemented a dedicated circuit with heating and chiller for the battery system. This approach aims to optimize EV performance by effectively managing thermal issues, which are crucial for maximizing performance. Rivian's strategy involves developing, executing, validating, and maintaining simulation models of thermal systems architecture, including power to rain cooling controls and battery systems. Rivian is saying that all models will have a range of around 300 miles. Then, in another comment, they said around 330 miles for the model with the most range. Of course, that model is going to be more expensive. It's going to come with a range of different battery packs, but how can every single battery pack provide the same range? Now, I think what Rivian is not telling us is that this cheap version of $45,000 won't have a 4695 cylindrical battery cells. There's no way it will have lithium iron phosphate cells, probably from CATL or BYD. That's how you have a cheap electric truck. Although it sounds optimistic and exciting, we still need to see how Rivian performs in terms of its battery and other aspects. Personally, I believe this vehicle could attract many individuals who currently view electric vehicles as unconventional. It has the potential to appeal to a wider audience. I hope Rivian can successfully deliver, but it's worth noting, by the way, that it won't be available until 2026.